So Tyler, you got an invite from the agriculture minister this week to have a conversation about fertilizer. Tell us what was said there and what what you can share of that conversation.
Well, yeah, thanks, Chris. So the agriculture minister is done a lot of outreach lately, and was one of a number of stakeholders at a roundtable with her. But the minister was really going out to try and set the record straight. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the federal fertilizer emission reduction target. It's been in the news. There's been a lot of concern about what it might mean for fertilizer use on farms. Fertilizer is a real important component of boosting productivity, of producing enough food to feed the world. And so a lot of farmers were rightfully concerned that when the federal government starts talking about reducing fertilizer emissions, that might mean they have to reduce their fertilizer use. But Minister Bibeau is out and is talking to a variety of different stakeholders, talking to farmers and industry groups across the country, talking to the media to make sure that everyone hears the message loud and clear from the government that this isn't about reducing fertilizer use, that they think that there's opportunity to reduce fertilizer emissions without reducing fertilizer efficiency, without impacting yield and food security. And so what we heard today was the minister saying, that's their commitment to do this in a way that's good for the environment, but good for farmers too. A lot of farm groups and industry associations talking about how they share that same commitment. Farmers have been making significant progress and how sustainable they are and how efficient their operations are over the last 30 years. They're committed to continuing to make that progress. And so I think it was an opportunity to hear the government and farm groups and industry say a very similar message about their shared commitment to improving agriculture's output, to improving agriculture's environmental footprint, to doing it in a positive way. And we look forward to seeing the government now go further and describing how it's going to do it and taking this to the next step.
And we've seen a lot of people be very cynical and pessimistic about those opportunities. What's your view on the ability of Canadian farmers and Canadian agriculture to in fact help Canada meet its international commitments?
Yeah, so I want to be really clear. Canadian agriculture is already doing a lot to help Canada meet its international commitments, but it can do more. Some things can be relatively easy to do. The technology, the equipments, the seeders and air drills that farmers use today allow you to put the fertilizer, right next to the seed, right where it needs to go to make sure that it's used rather than spreading it all across the field. There are some things like that, again, that farmers are already doing because it just makes sense for them to do it. That's going to get us a good part of the way. There are some barriers to adoption. Governments come to the table with some money to help farmers with it. But there are also some more innovative things that we can do. There's the potential to use innovation, gene editing, new tools that are going to help make our plants more resilient, make our plants more efficient. So the potential's there. It's not easy. This is an ambitious target. This is an ambitious timeline that the government has set. But the good news, like I said, is that farmers have already been working on it. And I think you'll see farmers make a lot of progress between now and 2030.
80+% Canadians live in cities now. They may be not living fertilizer talk every day. What's important for them to keep in mind? What is important for the average urban Canadian consumer to keep in mind about this discussion on fertilizers and the contribution to climate change?
Yeah, so first and foremost, fertilizers are important. This isn't farmers aren't people that are out fertilizing their lawns in order just to make them look greener. Fertilizer is really important to farm productivity. So there's a very legitimate concern that if government takes farm fertilizer away or restricts its use, it's going to impact productivity. It's going to impact farm incomes. It's going to impact our food system. But it's important, again, to be clear that just as it's important that farmers rely on fertilizer and fertilizers, a real positive contribution to productivity in Canada, the government's been just as equally clear that now that it doesn't intend to restrict fertilizer use. And so hopefully what it'll do, with both sides agreeing that this is an important target and this is something that we can work together on, that collaboration now continues to happen, and government listens to farmers and hears from the industry about how can we actually do this and do it in a constructive way.